watching News 18 at 6. News from where you live.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Smith.
And I'm Marlee Thomas. Thanks for joining us.
Subaru of Indiana Automotive is introducing hybrid vehicle models coming to Lafayette.
News 18's Vinny Martirano has more from SIA.
SIA is introducing new vehicle models coming to the Lafayette plant here in the near future. Subaru of Indiana Automotive is introducing a brand new Forester model in the fall of 2025. Then in the spring of 2026, they're introducing the Forester Hybrid, their first hybrid model. Vice President of General Counsel of SIA, Rachel Hazare, says they're adding 100 new jobs to staff the hybrid production.
And the automotive industry is in a time of great transition. We are modifying our trim line to help accommodate that additional piece to the powertrain, in addition to the ICE engine that will be a part of that vehicle as well.
As a part of bringing in the Forester and the Forester Hybrid, both the Legacy and the Outback models will be leaving SIA. Hazare says the production of the Outbacks will be made in Japan, but the Legacy will be phased out.
Between the Forester, the Crosstrek, and the Ascent, we have some of the top-selling Subaru brand vehicles. We're really excited for this next era in our plant.
She says the new Forester models will be built in the same spot of SIA where the Outback and the Legacy were made. She says SIA has a significant commitment to the community.
We really view this as great news for the city, the county, the state, and then the United States.
SIA says they're excited to be able to bring these models here to the plant and open up future opportunities to the community. Reporting at SIA, Vinny Martirano, News 18.
Purdue University is partnering with Elanco Animal Health at a new innovation district in Indianapolis. The governor's office says Purdue President Mung Chiang and Elanco's CEO signed the deal at the state's annual Global Economic Summit. Purdue and Elanco will develop a shared use facility on 3 acres in the new One Health Innovation District on the western edge of the White River. The governor says the partnership is designed to increase the ability to predict, detect, prevent, and respond to health threats. Researchers will focus on areas including the microbiome, antimicrobial resistance, and livestock sustainability.
With Memorial Day weekend coming up here soon, the Indiana State Police are increasing their patrols. They'll be stepping up their click it or ticket enforcement, as well as making sure there is no dangerous driving. ISP just has a couple of reminders for drivers. Troopers say to make sure you are well rested before driving and to keep a safe distance between you and other cars. They also remind everyone to always use your turn signals and avoid hanging out in the passing lane. And also make sure everyone is wearing a seatbelt and don't drive distracted or under the influence. ISP asks that you call 911 if you see dangerous drivers on the road.
A beauty pageant queen from Lafayette is being indicted in a Mexican cartel's drug trafficking operation. 34-year-old Glennis Zapata was named Miss Indiana Latina in 2011, and now she's named in a grand jury indictment charged with 2 federal counts of money laundering. The flight attendant is accused of helping traffickers move millions of dollars of cash on commercial jets. 33-year-old Elenis Zapata and 39-year-old Georgina Banuelos were also named in the indictment. Prosecutors say the Lafayette Bank employees helped launder drug proceeds by exchanging lower denomination bills for higher ones. It's part of a years-long investigation into a Mexican cartel and its leader, Oswaldo Espinosa. It started in 2021 when federal authorities seized a private airplane that was loaded with cash at the Gary Chicago International Airport. Well, tomorrow, humidity makes a comeback. We're also tracking some more storms tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans is in the studio this evening with a look at our forecast. Hey, Chad.
Yeah, you know, the humidity was held in check today, but it's on the way up because a warm front is coming right back northward. It's more of a dew point front, but it will be warmer overall tomorrow as well. This is kind of the leading edge of the clouds from it, coming up from the south, beginning to cloud our skies a little bit in part of the viewing area. So you can see some of the cloudiness coming northward here, and the warm front's about down here just south of I-70. So as this moves northward tonight, could spark a couple isolated showers or a thunder shower. And then once it's north of our area tomorrow, we will be bathed in the higher humidity, so it's going to feel kind of muggy tomorrow, and it will certainly be warmer with a strong south wind. That sets the stage for severe weather come tomorrow late afternoon and evening. We're running around 80 pretty much viewing area wide right now. And overnight, we're going to drop to about 63 for the low and greater Lafayette. Lows generally 59 in the north and low and mid 60s as you go southward. So we've got severe weather risk tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then we've got a longer duration and bigger risk come Sunday, and some of your plans for Sunday will be impacted by that severe weather. We'll talk about that next.
Thanks, Chad. Officials are warning of an active storm season this year. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting an above-average 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms from June through November, the highest number ever for this May outlook. 8 to 13 are forecasted to become hurricanes, and 4 to 7 could become major hurricanes with maximum sustained winds of 111 miles per hour. High ocean temperatures are contributing to the above normal activity, and officials say it's not too early to get ready.
Now is the time to prepare and stay prepared. Remember, it only takes one storm to devastate a community.
On those Category 5s, the average lead time was 50 hours. Preparedness, got to be ready for these storms.
And although not every storm has threatened land, a named tropical storm or hurricane has formed in either May or early June in every hurricane season since 2015.
Well, after working for the West Lafayette Street Department for years, Ben Anderson is now stepping down as the Public Works Director. In 2017, Anderson was hired as the Street Commissioner. In 2022, he was sworn in as Public Works Director. With 8 years working for the department, Anderson says it's not really been work for him.
It's been an honor and a privilege, you know, I thank everyone for their patience and understanding, and you know, this is a lot of exciting times coming up at the city, and it's truly a great place to live.
Anderson says he's looking forward to starting his new position, working at Brown Equipment Company in the Snow and Ice Vegetation Division.
North Central Health Services has awarded many schools in our viewing area special grants to help prevent youth suicides. Tippecanoe and Benton are just a few of the counties included in that initiative. North Central Health Services has allocated over $1.9 million to support 12 school corporations in North Central Indiana. This initiative will have served 35,000 students by the end of this school year. And the program has trained school staff in suicide prevention knowledge and has put into place policies that ensure kids are effectively supported to prevent suicides. Megan Ulrich has led the work at TSC for the initiative. She says the mental health crisis became much more prominent during the pandemic in 2020.
And really since the pandemic, not that it wasn't an issue before then, but this was something that became very spotlighted and became an issue that increased since that time. We've seen that occur, that kids are reporting more issues, reporting an increased frequency of that, and definitely something that we have to address.
Well, she says every member of a school community, including teachers, administrators, counselors, and families, have a role to play in school suicide prevention. Schools are best positioned to provide these efforts when the whole community is involved.
And coming up after the break, we're sitting down with Tippecanoe County Deputy Public Defender Shay Hughes to discuss the latest developments in the Delphi double homicide case. That's coming up next.
You're watching News 18 at 6. News from where you live.
Well, a three-day hearing in the Delphi homicide case that had been set for this week was canceled the day before it was supposed to start. Shay Hughes is a deputy public defender in Tippecanoe County, and he joins us in the studio this evening to break down the latest developments in the case against Richard Allen. Shay, thank you very much for joining us to talk about this again. Did that surprise you on Monday? Because just on Friday, she had issued an order saying no, that hearing was going to happen on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah, I was somewhat surprised that it was canceled, but in some respects not, because there was some notice provided to her that there would be a motion filed by Richard Allen's attorneys recusing Judge Gall, and that she would have to address that before they went into anything else.
Yeah, so legally she can't make any other decisions in the case until she decides on that.
Yeah, unless there's an emergency, but there doesn't seem to be anything of that nature so far. So she needs to address this motion before addressing anything else.
Okay, and that was a 42-page filing asking her to disqualify herself. And as I understand it, as I recall it, it's their second attempt to get her off the case?
That's correct, yes.
How unusual is that? I wouldn't think it'd be all that unusual for a defense team to ask a judge to recuse, but to make repeated efforts at that, how unusual is that?
Well, it's pretty unusual to file the motion itself. I mean, I've been practicing for just over 10 years. I've personally never filed such a motion. A repeated attempt, that is pretty unusual. In some respects, I get it, because they raised it initially. It was addressed by the Indiana Supreme Court, and I think it's ultimately to preserve the issue for appeal if Richard Allen were convicted.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that too. A lot of these filings, and you and I and people who have followed court cases for years, this one is just under a ton of motions, mostly from the defense.
Correct. There's a ton to address and unpacked before the scheduled trial in October.
So the flurry of motions in this particular case, do you read that as an effort to make it an appealable decision if Richard Allen were convicted?
Yes, I think there are some good issues that are being raised in reference to the statement that he made at the police station. I think ultimately a lot of it is ultimately to preserve the record. And some of it, these are public filings, and it is to develop their case further. So, yeah.
When I opened up this motion for her, the second motion for her to take herself off the case, I don't want to get too personal about it, but I thought a judge is going to get upset about this. Should that be taken into consideration at all?
In some respects, I think we probably reached past that point, given what's transpired in this case.
And should the defense team be worried about that, or is that what they're going for?
I don't think they're necessarily worried. I mean, personally, I think the worst thing to happen to them did happen back in October when they were removed from the case, right? So I don't think they're necessarily worried about it.
All right. Now, do you think it's reasonable to expect that this is still going to go to trial in October of this year?
I think it can be done. Again, there's a lot to unpack, but I think if the court schedules hearings and so forth and can promptly address all the matters that are currently pending, I think it's possible to get it done in October.
Okay, we shall see. Shay Hughes, Deputy Public Defender for Tippecanoe County, and not connected to the Allen case.
That's correct.
Okay, Shay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, hey, we got a warm front coming northward tonight, and what that will bring is warmer, more humid air by tomorrow, and it sets the stage for severe weather risk tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll show you a new futurecast on the timing of that line of storms next.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
So a few isolated to very spotty showers or maybe a thunder shower will be possible tonight and early tomorrow morning as the warm front comes northward. And behind that warm front, it gets humid down, almost kind of muggy tomorrow afternoon. It warms up a little more. The wind increases from the south, setting the stage, laying the groundwork for the squall line to come through late afternoon and evening. 4 on, we're going to be watching that line come in from the west and northwest, but a high of 86, but it's going to feel like about 88 or 89 in Greater Lafayette, and highs overall 83 to 87, but the heat index will run about 85 to about 91 for tomorrow afternoon. And then after that, squall line zips through, a few scattered showers and thunder showers late tomorrow night, very early Saturday morning, and then the rest of Saturday is actually pretty nice. 81, winds out of the northwest, and lower humidity. Dew points tomorrow may reach the upper 60s. They will drop into the 50s on Saturday, so more comfortable on Saturday, and a nice amount of sunshine as well, upper 70s to 80 and even low 80s as you go southward in our viewing area. Severe weather risk, though, with this line tomorrow late afternoon and evening between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. We're fair game with the slight risk, or a 2 out of 5 on the scale. Main threat would be wind. Scattered severe gusts or some pockets of damaging wind coming in out of Illinois for the area. Rainfall about a half to 1 inch. Again, Saturday's fine. Sunday, though, we got to watch. Right now, we're on a slight risk, or a 2 out of 5 on the scale for severe. The enhanced, or 3 out of 5. You can see in orange is just south of our area. The data today certainly looks enhanced to moderate here, actually. We got to watch this one because I think upgrades to the severe weather risk will be done. And I think at least will be an enhanced risk on Sunday. And it's an all hazards kind of day. It's 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Wind, some hail, can't rule out a few tornadoes either, and there will be some locally heavy rainfall that does develop. So let's dig into Futurecast and start with tonight first. Here's around midnight or 12:30. Again, a random shower or small little thunder shower as that warm front moves northward, and then there's tomorrow afternoon. Then we watch the line of storms right here coming in from the west and northwest. This is towards late afternoon into tomorrow evening, and there's the line coming through right here with the wind threat that zips out of here by 10, 11 o'clock in the evening. And then behind that, a break, and then a few little showers and thunder showers late in the night and into early on Saturday morning, but Saturday afternoon looks great. I do think on Sunday morning, there'll be a warm front coming back northward, so it will turn muggy Sunday afternoon. As that warm front comes northward, there could be a few showers and storms Sunday morning. Those don't look severe. We get into Sunday afternoon, though, and we're in this very unstable, warm sector, and we're likely going to have scattered supercell thunderstorms that develop right in this pocket here with all hazards on deck. And then the line of storm sweeps through on Sunday evening. And then after that, the low kind of winds up. We get some clouds on Monday, a strong northwest wind, and there could be a couple spotty showers on Memorial Day. But in terms of rainfall, after the half to 1 inch tomorrow, late afternoon, evening, I do think we could get some places that get a 1.5 inch rain, maybe a few pockets a little more than that for Sunday. Normal high is now up to 75 for today, 81 Saturday, 83 on Sunday. A little cooler on Monday, 71, but then some really nice weather at this point. After that, we're in the 70s. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nice crisp overnights, and even into next week. Look at those highs, pretty consistent. We're hovering right around 80 and lows in the 50s to around 60. Well, since I wasn't here last week, we've got double tree of the week. So we had silver maple yesterday. Today we have red mulberry, and the mulberries are ripening right now. I love eating these. I'll just go out in the woods or in a fence row, start picking these things and eating them. I leave some for the animals to eat and the birds to eat, but these are really tasty to eat. There's the bark, there's the leaves that kind of vary in shape a little bit. Mulberry, it'll reach a max height of about 40 to about 70 feet. And a lot of times it tends to fork pretty close to the base, kind of similar to a silver maple, and those limbs really fan out and spread out. This is a younger tree right here, and the birds love them. Very important in ecology because this time of year there aren't a lot of berries to eat, but the service berries and the red mulberries are ripening. And cedar waxwings love mulberries. I've seen gray catbirds eating them this time of year, American robins. They'll take the red mulberries over worms any day from what I've seen. And there's the beautiful fall foliage of the mulberry. It's typically kind of a floodplain tree, the high parts of floodplains on really rich, deep soils, but now it kind of grows everywhere because birds have spread it. But it's typically a Midwestern and Corn Belt tree. That's where it's most native. Historically speaking, found in savannas, along prairie streams and watercourses, and in little woodlands along streams and creeks in prairie areas of the country.
And now, sports scores and highlights. News 18, sports from where you live.
Thank you for joining us and welcome back. Well, we have some schedule updates in regards to two different Purdue sports, so let's check out when we can catch the Boilermakers in action. Purdue women's basketball has put SEC foe Kentucky on its schedule for a home and away series, and that starts this upcoming season. The Boilers will host the Wildcats on December 14th and visit Lexington sometime in 2025. Now against Kentucky, Purdue boasts an impressive undefeated record with the last game taking place in 2000. Purdue football released the times and dates for two of its games, which will take place on Friday night. The Boilers will host Oregon on October 18th and Michigan State on November 22nd. Now, both of those games will take place at 8 o'clock as well, so it should be a really fun Frenzy Friday as well. Purdue men's golf has less than 24 hours until they tee off for the first day of the NCAA championships. Gold and Black will be competing in the championships for the first time in 7 years. The Boilers are entering into its final tournament as the number 19 seed, and they have been paired up with number 20 Stanford and number 21 Wake Forest. The first round takes place tomorrow, and Purdue's tee time is set for 10 Eastern. Rounds 2 and 3 will take place over the weekend, and then the quarterfinals and semifinals will be held on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is when the championship round will take place, and if Purdue wants a chance to compete through Wednesday, they need to continue placing in the top 8. That does it from me. Back to you guys.
Okay, Bree, thank you very much. Well, that's it for News 18 at 6. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on the CBS Evening News, Ticketmaster, which of course botched the pre-sale of tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, hit by a huge, sweeping antitrust lawsuit today.
Nora O'Donnell has that story and much more tonight from Washington.
And you can see us on the CW at 10 and right back here on CBS at 11. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.